Welcome back to my channel. My name is PrachiSharma and this video is about part 2 of sulfuric acid important questions. If you have not checked out the first video, make sure that you go back on the channel and check the playlist. You have the first part of the same video. This is the second part. In this part, we'll be covering about 15 to 16 questions that are left out because I'm covering all the sulfuric acid questions in the past 10-year board examinations. So whatever questions that we do, some can be repetitive, in which I'm trying to show you that what kind of questions are frequently asked in different formats. So make sure that you stick around to the whole video and do all the questions thoroughly. So without wasting any time, let's get started. Alright students, let's get started with this session today. So the first question says, state the inference drawn from the following observation. Salt S is prepared by reacting dilute sulfuric acid with copper oxide and you're supposed to identify S. So S is copper sulfate. Let's move on to the next question. Give balanced chemical equation for the action of sulfuric acid on the following. So the first is potassium hydrogen carbonate. So that is KHCO3 and it is reacting with H2SO4. So you will get KHSO4 plus H2O plus carbon dioxide. Then you have sulfur reacting with H2SO4. So sulfur plus H2SO4 will give you H2O plus SO2. Okay, let's move on to the next question. In the contact process for the manufacture of sulfuric acid, give the equations for the conversion of sulfur trioxide to sulfuric acid. So they are not asking all the equations. They are asking only from sulfur trioxide to sulfuric acid. So you have two equations there. So sulfur trioxide is SO3. You add H2SO4 to that. So you get H2S2O7. That is oleum. Then oleum, that is H2S2O7. You add water to that and you end up getting H2SO4. Let's move to the next question. What property, again, see, property questions are again there. What property of sulfuric acid is in action when sugar turns black in its presence? That is the dehydrating property, or it acts as a dehydrating agent. Let's move to the next question. The next question says, what would you see when a crystal of CuSO4.5H2O is placed in concentrated sulfuric acid? What is the reason for the observation? So the first thing is that you write two sentences, observation. Then next sentence you write the reason for it. So answer both the parts separately. And your entire answer should be able to depict both the answers. Don't miss that out. So for the first part you will write only the observation. The observation will be that blue colored crystals crumble down to form a white powder. Okay, this is your observation. And why is that happening? That is because sulfuric acid acts as a dehydrating agent and water of crystallization is removed from your CuSO4.5H2 from copper sulfate. The water of crystallization is removed because sulfuric acid is acting as a dehydrating agent. So in the first sentence, observation. Second sentence, the reason. Let's move to the question number 6. What property of sulfuric acid is shown by the reactant of sulfuric acid when heated with potassium nitrate and carbon? So you are only supposed to give the type of the property. So for the first one, when you have potassium nitrate, it will give you nitric acid. So in this case, the property is non-volatile. The second is the carbon one. So in carbon one, it will oxidize it. So your answer will be oxidizing agent. Question number 7. Name the gas evolved, the gas produced by the action of concentrated sulfuric acid on sodium chloride. So the gas will be hydrogen chloride gas. Okay. Don't write hydrochloric acid. Since they are asking gas, write hydrogen chloride gas. Let's move to the 8th question. What is the property of concentrated sulfuric acid which allows it to the preparation of hydrogen chloride and nitric acid? The answer is the property that is non-volatile nature. Next is Concentrated sulfuric acid is both an oxidizing agent and a non-volatile acid. Write the equation each to illustrate the above mentioned properties of sulfuric acid. So, by now I hope you would have understood that there are a lot of examples that you can pick up from. For example, if you are picking up the oxidizing agent, you can pick up the carbon reaction with H2SO4, you can pick that up. The second, the non-volatile acid. In that case, what you can pick up the preparation of nitric acid or hydrochloric acid. So you can pick up those equations. If you have doubts, I'll still write it here. So for example, let's say for oxidizing agent, let's oxidize copper. So I have copper plus H2SO4, that gives me CuSO4 plus water plus SO2. For a non-volatile nature, you can use anything. Let's say NaCl plus H2SO4. This is below 200 degrees Celsius. You get NaHSO4 plus HCl. This is non-volatile nature. Let's move to the next question. What do you see when barium chloride solution is added to dilute sulfuric acid? We see a white PPT appears, which is insoluble in all mineral acids. That is your observation. Let's move to the next question. Question 11. Fill in the blanks. The black color disappears, layering a dash solution when adding sulfuric acid to copper oxide. So it gives a blue solution. The next is mixing colorless acids such as HBr and H2SO4 leads to dash coloration. It gives a reddish brown coloration. So reddish brown coloration. Third part, addition of sulfuric acid to zinc sulfide flakes release a gas which has a rotten egg smell. Because you have zinc sulfide reacting with sulfuric acid, so you will end up getting hydrogen sulfide gas. So rotten egg smell. When sulfuric acid is reacted with barium chloride, you get a white PPT. Students always remember, sulfuric acid with barium chloride is a test of sulfuric acid. So you get a white PPT of barium sulfate, which is insoluble in all mineral acids. So in this case, your answer will be white PPT is formed. Next question, dilute sulfuric acid react with active metals to liberate dash and form their sulfates. So of course, if it is forming sulfates, the other thing should be a gas which it will liberate. So dilute sulfuric acid reacting with the metal will give you hydrogen gas. So hydrogen gas is liberated and their sulfates are formed. Let's move to question 12. Write balanced equation for the following. That is action of concentrated sulfuric acid on carbon. Then in the next part you have sulfur is heated with concentrated sulfuric acid. Okay, let's start with the first one. So carbon plus H2SO4 will give you CO2 plus water plus SO2. Then sulfur is heated with concentrated sulfuric acid. So S plus H2SO4 will give, sulfur is heated with sulfuric acid. Sulfur is heated with sulfuric acid. So you will get S plus H2SO4. That will give you water plus SO2. That's it. Next is action of dilute sulfuric acid on barium chloride. So BaCl2 plus H2SO4 will give you BaSO4 plus HCl. Next is potassium hydrogen carbonate. So KHCO3 plus H2SO4 will give you water plus carbon dioxide, of course, and along with that it will give you K2SO4. Next is dehydration of concentrated sulfuric acid with sugar crystals. So sugar crystal is what? Sugar crystal is C12H22O11 plus H2SO4, which will give you 12C plus 11H2O dot H2SO4. Let's move to the next question. Identify the acid which matches the following description. The acid which produces sugar crystals from sugar is concentrated sulfuric acid. The acid on mixing with lead nitrate solution produces a white PPT which is insoluble even on heating is dilute sulfuric acid. The third is dilute mineral acid which forms a white PPT when treated with barium chloride solution is dilute sulfuric acid. Let's move ahead to the next question. Match the following. You have sulfur dioxide. So sulfur dioxide will have a burning sulfur smell. So that is B. Oil of vitriol is another name for sulfuric acid. So A. Oleum is also known as pyrosulfuric acid. So answer is D. Sulfur trioxide, that is anhydride of sulfuric acid. Then hydrogen sulfide has a rotten egg smell. Now next question. Complete and balance the following equations. You have Na2SO3 plus H2SO4, NaCl plus H2SO4, C12H22O11 and then copper and H2SO4. Okay. These are easy. Let's see. Let's start with the first one. Na2SO3. So Na2SO3 plus H2SO4 will give you Na2SO4 plus water plus SO2. Then NaCl plus H2SO4 will give you NaHSO4 plus HCl. C12H22O11 plus H2SO4 will give you 12C plus 11H2O dot H2SO4. Then copper plus H2SO4 will give you CuSO4 plus water plus SO2. One of the line is missing. Then you have carbon. So carbon plus H2SO4 will give you carbon dioxide plus water plus SO2. Again another line is missing. S plus H2SO4 will give you, did we cover S already? No. So S plus H2SO4 will give you of course SO2 plus water. Alright students, so this is it for today's session. When you complete the first and the second part of sulfuric acid, you would have successfully gone through all the most important equations and all the board questions of this chapter. So once you have done the mind mapping and these two videos, you are good to go for sulfuric acid, and I can assure you there won't be any question that you would not have seen in the examination from this chapter. So if you were bothered about this chapter, make sure that you cover up all the questions thoroughly and re-revise them once. All the very best and keep working hard. I know you will score amazing in the board examination of chemistry. Thank you so much and we'll catch up in the next session.